Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'll be explaining the trauma of getting your menstruation periods young. Yeah, I'll explain it because I saw it. I didn't face it, but I saw my friends going through it. Yeah, I saw my friends being discriminated and bullied because of getting their periods young. So my parents took me to boarding school when I was pretty young. I was only 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10 years old. And my boarding school was an only girls boarding school. And that's the funny thing about it because there were no boys in this school. We were only girls, but still there was that bullying because you started your menstruation period early before the rest of us. So in class 5 still people's body mature differently, and some of my friends, especially one of my close friends, had already started a period way too early even before she came to the boarding school. And guys, I'm telling you, the kind of bullying she passed through, I can't even explain. The gossiping, people just segregating themselves from her because I don't know why, but I guess they saw her like this old woman. What are you doing in school? You should be married or with children. What are you doing in school? And this drama was too much, such that when you go to the bins in the washroom, you see these bins in the washroom where we throw our pads after, you know. So these bins, you step on it and then the lid opens and then you throw your pad inside. But now I'm telling you, it was so traumatizing that these girls never threw their pads inside the bin. They used to throw their pads. They used to put them on top of the bin or on top of the window sill or something. But the trauma of opening that bin, throwing it inside, and when you release your leg from the bin, it closes like pop. And if there is somebody waiting for you outside and they hear that sort of pop, oh, so you are that old woman. You have already started your periods, and now the gossiping starts, the bullying starts, the discrimination starts. It was too bad that one of our teacher had to call us and stop this habit. And like, if you have started your period, you're healthy, you're fertile. I mean, you should not feel ashamed, but these people never understood the kind of trauma these girls had to go through. And this trauma was especially in class 5. The lowest class was in class 5 because that boarding school started from class 5 to class 8. So, yeah, with the 844 system. So, this trauma and discrimination was especially in class 5 and class 6. Those who started their periods in those classes, they were really discriminated. People hated them. People saw them like old women who should not be in school. They should have already finished school. Why have you matured too early? That's kind of discrimination, which was not good. So for me, when I started my periods, my very, very first period, I will never forget because it was on Christmas. And that time I was already done with class 6. It was in 2011. So I'm already done in class 6. So it was on 25th December. And now, the following year I would be going to class 7. And I was so afraid because now I'm almost going to this group that is discriminated because they have started their periods. And I remember that day when I was taking my shower because in my religion, during Christmas days, we go to church. And most of us like to go to church because you have to show off your new clothes. Yeah, most of us children, our parents bought us new clothes. So you really want to show your new nice dress. So I was in the bathroom taking my shower, and when I was washing myself, I realized there was blood coming out. And these periods came with no warning because earlier before those my friends that had already started their period, usually told me, before you start your period, it's really painful. The first day of your period is really painful. But I didn't feel anything. There was no abdominal, there was nothing. I just went to take my shower and there was blood and lots of it, and it wouldn't stop coming out. And I was so scared. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life like that particular day. Blood was just coming out. I wipe it with water, it's still coming out. I wipe it with water, it's still coming out. Yes, I was not very young that time. I was 12 years. I had turned 12 years that year. So it's the like the ideal of age of teenage Odin girl. So I was not very young. So I was so afraid that I didn't tell my mother about it. I didn't have pads. I didn't even know how to use them. No one had ever taught me how to use them. So I never told anybody. Guys, I just wore my clothes and I went to church still bleeding and with no pads. I just remember I wore two pants, and I think in Kenya we call them bikers. So I wore like two pants, two inner wears and a biker, but no pad. So when I went to church, blood was just coming out, and I could feel each and every droplet falling on my thighs. And thanks be to God, the dress that I was wearing was it was green, really dark green, not light green. It was really dark green, and so nobody would notice the tiny spots that were falling in on my dress. But remembering that day, it was really embarrassing. But nobody noticed that I was bleeding. Not even my own mother noticed that I was bleeding. And the funny thing with this first period, it only lasted for one day. Like that day, that Christmas day, I really bled with blood falling on my thighs, but it did not last for long. Like I think it only lasted for like 2 hours and then it stopped. And then the following day it lasted for like 1 hour and then it stopped. And after that I never saw my periods again until like 6 months later, when now I was in class 7 now. And that time it was not traumatizing. By that time so many people had started their periods. Yeah, we were so many of us now. That time there was no discrimination. People have kind of matured. Many of them have realized, oh, so this thing is not for the old people, because like 70 of us percent of us had already started our periods. So I guess that time it was not traumatizing. People stopped throwing their pads on top of window sills or on top of the bin. At least our washroom became a little bit clean. Let me pick this call. Yeah, so sorry for the disruption, but yes, that what happened. The washrooms became a bit clean. Yeah, things were good. There was no discrimination. Yeah. So yeah, and the thing is, why I don't know if it was the school that I studied where there was this discrimination. I would like to know if any of you who are going to come across this video ever faced any kind of discrimination because of starting their periods earlier than others. And the funny thing is, after I was done with primary school, of course, we go to high school. And in high school, like we can see 90% of everybody is on our periods. And when we reach like Form 3, by Form 3, most of us were like 16 to 17 years old. Most of us had already started their periods, even those who had not started their periods in Form 1. And these few people, I remember there were like 5 people who had not started their periods in my class, like in Form 3. And even as you are going to Form 4, they were still dry. They had not started their periods. And now the discrimination that people who had started their periods in my primary school, it was the same kind of discrimination these girls had to face. They had not started their periods, and people judged them very, very harshly. They saw them as, I don't know, like infertile, or people who will never get married because they can't have kids. Like, this kind of weird, and it's a very stupid assumptions. Yeah, so the thing is, people's body mature differently. People attain their adolescence at different ages. Like for me, I started my periods at 12 years old. My breast they started coming out when I was 13 to 14 years old. And people develop differently. Like I remember my cousin who started her periods way earlier than I myself. And she was 9 years, only 9 years, just a little baby who doesn't even know anything about this thing. She had, it was so traumatizing, not only for her, but also for her mom. It was really traumatizing. And even her mom was not near. It was just me, who was like an older sister, and my mom. And her mom was so concerned. Did anybody do anything bad to my daughter? Go and examine her. And they were like, calm down, chill. These things happen. Like, speaking from my experience in my boarding school, people as young as 9 years old had already started their periods. So this is not a new thing. Like, people are developing differently at different ages. Yeah, so the thing is, people mature at different ages. Nobody should be discriminated because of maturing way too early than others. Nobody should be discriminating because their maturity came a little bit late than others. Yes, that's what I want. I would like for people to understand, especially for girls. Just love your friends. Don't talk behind their backs because they have started their period. That thing is so bad. It brings somebody's self-esteem to the floor, and it is very hard to raise that self-esteem. You know. So yes, that's about it, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe for more informative life experiences that I've gone through. And maybe if you can also comment down below what you might have passed, the kind of trauma you might have gone through concerning periods or menstruation or any other kind of maturity. Bye bye.